Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're new, if you're not new, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina and today I am back with another reading vlog. I have been gone for a minute. When I was thinking about this video, I wanted to get back into reading by reading books that I know I was looking forward to, or books that I wanted like a specific theme for this time of the year. So I decided that for this reading vlog, I will be reading only vampire books in the month of October, aka spooky season. I've had this idea for years, I just never done it. Like even on my other channel where I originally made book videos, I always said that I wanted to make a vampire themed reading vlog because I have so many vampire books, so many, and I've always just wanted to just read them all in one vlog and give you guys my thoughts. What you're about to see is like over an hour long of me just like having back to back, for the most part, really good reads. Okay, technically 5 books in this vlog, but 6 in total for like October when it comes to vampire books. This video was supposed to be put out earlier. I wanted to start filming this back in September so it could be put out in the first week of October. However, the first book that I read that I did not like was Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. I specifically found the motivation and the inspiration to do this type of video because I'm so into the Interview with Vampires show. It's been like my latest hyperfixation over the course of like 2 months, and I just wanted to make a video dedicated to vampires, and I wanted to start off by reading Interview with the Vampire. And so I spent all of September reading that book, and it's not a thick book, it's like this big. I spent all month reading it because I just couldn't get through. It was so slow, so boring. I was reading that all month, so like I couldn't even get to another book until the beginning of October. I started Interview with a Vampire at the beginning of September and finished it at the beginning of October. So I technically did read or finish 6 vampire books this month, but you're not going to see any clips of me reading Interview with the Vampire because at some point I was like, this is taking too long, I'm not going to include this in the vlog. But you're going to see me read 5 other books for this vlog, all vampire centered, vampires in them, just really good, great, fun vampire books. Before I start, I do just want to say that this video kind of starts a little abruptly of me being in the middle of one of the books, and that's because one of these books I started all the way back in August, okay? But then I stopped reading it to read Interview with the Vampire because I really wanted to read that book, and then I didn't get back to it again until October. And you guys are gonna see which book I'm talking about, but once this vlog starts, you're gonna be in the middle of me reading one of these books. Sorry about that. But with that being said, that's all. Let's go. All right, let me tell you where I'm at right now in The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I always get this title mixed up. I think it's because I just can't do long titles. Like, I don't know. Every time I talk about this book or mention it to someone, I'm always getting the name messed up. Let me discuss this book real quick because I'm in the middle of it. I'm like, I don't know if you guys can even see where the bookmark is at. Probably not. I'm like almost at the halfway point. I don't really know what to say. Well, I guess I should clarify some things. For one, why does it look so gray? Okay, so I guess I need to state first and foremost that I took a month-long break from reading this book. Where you see this bookmark is basically where I stopped, but now I'm back, and I'm not gonna lie, that month-long break, it definitely made me forget a lot of what's going on in this book. My thoughts on the characters are currently, Araya is fine as a main character. Like, I don't have any strong opinions about her or anyone in this series, to be honest, like so far. I would like to know more about her father as the ruler of this kingdom. He's cool. I need to have a refresher on how the world works because I really don't remember. Like, I know that it's split up into like types of vampires and who rules what. I don't remember which kingdom her dad rules, but he seems cool. Creepy, but cool nonetheless. And I would like to know more of his backstory. We get it in a little bit of exposition with other characters, but I just want to know from him because he's like the only one that I'm really interested in. And he's like a side character. He's barely in the book. Also liking Rain's friend, Mish. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Mish. She's nice. I'm at the part now where like she's injured though. I should have seen that coming. It's always my favorite characters. You know, it's always my favorite characters that end up getting hurt in some way, shape, or form. To be fair though, I don't think I should like anyone in this book because this is not gonna end well for anyone. I guess I should explain what this book is about. because I didn't do that. Okay, so Serpent and the Wings of Night by Clarissa Broadbent. This is about a girl named Oriah who lives in a vampire society. She is a human. She got adopted by her father, who is the king of vampires, or one of the kings of vampires, whatever. She's a human being raised in a vampire society where other humans do exist. Humans do exist in this world, but they're kind of like in the poor faction, if that makes sense. Like they don't really get like kingdoms or nice homes. They get like shackles and no food. It's actually very messed up. She has this sense of like of an identity crisis throughout the book, which I find very interesting. But the whole plot of it is like one day every century there's a trial that starts for any vampire who wants to volunteer. They're basically fighting for their life to get one wish from the goddess of vampires, or the queen of night. I don't know how to explain it, because again, it's been a little bit over a month, but that's basically the gist. And in this trial, like I said, everyone fights to the death. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to like anyone. I'm very hesitant when it comes to liking characters, because I know this is not going to end well for anyone except for the main character. Maybe. Even then, I'm kind of just like, eh. But I'm, like I said, I'm at the halfway point. I'm on chapter 26. No thoughts, just vibes right now. I'm liking it. I wish I started this book this month in October instead of in August, because in August I wasn't really feeling this book, which is why I took a break to read the Vampire Chronicles. And now that I'm back to reading this, I'm just like, I don't really know how to feel about it, but I'll update you guys if anything changes. Okay, I haven't gotten that much farther since the last time I spoke to you, but I mentioned before like my interest in characters. I didn't talk about Rain. I like Rain. Just to be clear, I like him. I just feel like I didn't know much about him at all in like this first half, and I finally got to a part in the book where like him and Oriah are talking begrudgingly. It's a forced conversation while she heals his wounds. Oh please. But yeah, it's a forced conversation for sure, but it's like the one time he's opening up about like not necessarily his backstory, more so his friend Misha's. But I like their banter. I like the way that they interact. I like the way that they talk to each other. Like, it does get me a little bit excited to continue reading the book, because I'm all for slow burn romance. If you know, you know, I prefer slow burn romance. Like, that's usually my gig, but the slow burn in this book is really like slow burning. I'm at the half moon trial. I don't think I explained this, but the book is split up into trials that take place during a specific phase of the moon. So we're now at the half moon trial, which is in the halfway point of the book. And this is the trial where I think it's the most dangerous, and it's why Oriah picked Rain and Mish as her allies. And then I think after this trial, she's gonna drop them as allies, and they're gonna focus on their own personal gains from this whole thing, because at the end of the day, they do need to all like kill each other, but they needed allies for this trial specifically, so they've been paired up since the beginning. I don't know what this trial is gonna look like though. I'm very scared, especially now that Mish is gone now. Like, she's badly injured. They're just like, she can't participate, so it's just Oriah and Rain, and I'm kind of scared. But that's my update on Rain, because I realized this is a romantasy book, and I didn't talk about the love interest or the romance. Silly me. I like them. I think that they're cute, and they have potential to grow on me. I'm not gonna lie, in the first like quarter I didn't see it. I see it a little bit more now. I have a question. Finished the half moon trial. Very crazy. Won't go into specifics, but very wild trial. What I'm about to say isn't a spoiler because you find it out at the beginning of the book, kind of. But Oriah has powers, like some kind of power. And it's confusing to me because like she's referred to as human. Every vampire looks down on her because she is human, but apparently humans can just have powers in this world. Like, I don't really understand how it works, and she can't explain it either because she doesn't know the extent of her powers. But the way that they were just used, I'm trying to understand what she is, and I really don't get it. Vampires look down on humans, but humans can have powers. Wouldn't that be more of an issue? Like, even Vincent, her father, doesn't treat it as an issue. He's kind of just like, well, we'll see what happens. If you do something, whatever. If you don't, whatever. And I'm just like, shouldn't we be more concerned about this? Like, I know, like, vampires, the end-all be-all higher power beings, don't care about what humans can do with a little bit of magic. But if it's anything like what Araya can do, this should make more people confused, no? Or is she the only human with powers? I don't think so, because that's not how it's explained. I don't know, I'm confused, and I'm not getting any answers because it looks like everyone's confused. Everyone's kind of just like, did she just do that? Like, she gagged everyone in the kingdom. Good for her. I'm just trying to understand the power dynamics between humans and vampires, because I don't get it. I might by the end of this book, but I don't know. I'm on chapter 32. Low-key kind of want to knock out the rest of this book tonight. I have like that much left. And it's a lot, but I have the rest of the day. Today's my day off of work, if you couldn't tell. I'm like chilling in bed all day, just reading. Kind of want to finish it, because I also need to watch Heartstopper. The new Heartstopper season came out today. I have priorities, I have things I need to do. But this book is like slowly starting to get good again to me. It was never boring, but since I took a break from reading it, I've been waiting for it to like pick up and get me interested again. I'm interested, because I don't understand what just happened, and I need answers really bad. The romantasy is romantasying people. It's romantasying. I am on chapter 34. Just finished chapter 33. If you know, you know. The tension, cut it with a knife, with an axe, with a sword. It's kind of insane. I'm at the part Rain and Araya go away from like the celebratory feast that happens after the half moon trial, and it's basically a date. They're basically on their first date, whether they realize it or not. This is a date. It's canon. It's canon. And this is what I'm talking about when I'm talking about enemies to lovers. Like, yes, it's cool, it's cute, it's fine in like a mundane, everyday, normal romance book. But when you add in the fantasy element, it gives it that je ne sais quoi, that oh, it's something special. Because what do you mean they have to kill each other and they're doing all this? They could kill each other at any moment. This man literally says, and I quote, "Are you going to kill me, Araya?" She says, "Not tonight." And he says, "You might destroy me anyway." Literally takes off his sword and all of his weapons on his body, knowing that she is fully armed and could kill him at any second, because they're in a life or death situation, a trial. She has the right to kill him at any moment, at any time, and he's just like, I guess I'll take the bullet. Enemies to lovers in just like an office setting is so corny in comparison to fantasy. The stakes are more real. This is what I've been missing. Very, very truly satisfied. We're so back. Okay, hello. It's hours later. It's nighttime. Sorry, I just got done watching the second episode of Heartstopper. I'm so emotionally fragile right now, but I just wanted to update you guys before I go to bed. I'm this far, I don't know if you can see that, I'm this far into the book, and I really do think I could finish this tonight. Things are getting so good. Things are getting so good. Yeah, the romance, it's eating. I can't stress that enough. Now, everything else that's going on, I can't seem to care. Whoopsies. I know there's like deathly trials going on. There's also a war. I don't even think I mentioned that there's a war going on in this book. Like, there's a whole lot. As long as my ship is in game, I couldn't care less. And the sick part about it is I know that there's a sequel to this book. It's a duology, I'm pretty sure. I've heard nothing about the second book. The only thing I've heard is from my coworker, and she said that it was mid at best. So I might just read this as a standalone and like keep it moving. But as long as they are together, like there are moves made in this book, I don't need to continue the rest. This is some good stuff. What is her name? Carissa Broadbent. She's cooking, guys. It's true. Also, I like how the book looks without the dust jacket. It's so pretty. I love it when publishers, this is a tangent, but I really love it when publishers actually try to make the books look nice, like in all aspects. I'm not just talking about like some sprayed edges and a nice dust jacket. I'm talking like even the bare bones of the book. Like, yes, this eats more than the dust jacket design. Ooh. Hello, it is the next day and it's nighttime. I got back from work a few hours ago. Because of that, I have not been reading at all today, but I forgot to update you guys this morning from what I read last night. I'm like, I think a little less than 100 pages away from the ending. My book is still in my bag and I don't feel like grabbing it. But for those of you who know, if you know, you know, I'm at the part, if my camera would focus, that would be lovely. I'm at the part right now where it's kind of giving Hunger Games, besides like them having to fight for their lives and trials, blah 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 blah. I need to know, is this a Hunger Games fan fiction? Because there's a scene that I'm reading right now that's giving when Katniss and Peeta had to hide in the cave and Peeta was injured and Katniss had to like go out and get him supplies and stuff and they ended up kissing. The scene that I'm currently on with Rain and Araya is kind of, it is that. It's giving that. It's just so good. It's so good. I read a little bit during work, but I really haven't gotten that much farther than I did last night. And I'm really tired from working. So I probably won't be reading tonight either. Actually, I know I won't be because I'm watching Love is Blind and I'm about to eat some cheesecake. But I wanted to update you guys. I think, honestly, I'm gonna finish this book tomorrow. And then I'll talk about my thoughts afterward. I think it's interesting how when I started this book back in August, I was not really into it, and now 2 months later in October, I'm really liking it. I don't know if it's because I stopped as soon as it started getting good and then I took my month-long break from it, or maybe it's just because like I'm in the mood to read something like this again, but it's hitting so bad. And I knew about the hype for this book, and like I knew that like everyone said this is like one of the best romantic books ever, like the romance and the fantasy aspects of this mix so well and blah blah blah. I've been hearing this since the first book came out and I didn't want to feed into the hype. I was just like, if it's good, it's good, but I don't want to hear too many opinions. I don't want those to like, you know, affect the way that I read it. And I don't think I have. I genuinely think that this is like so far a really good book. So yeah, that's my update for the night. I will see you guys tomorrow. I have officially finished The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I actually got the title right. Ooh, look at me, look at me. So I finally finished this book. And I don't know how to feel right now. Like, I know it's a very jarring thing going from like the previous clip to this one about my feelings, but I don't know how to feel. I like the book. I actually really enjoyed the book a lot more than I thought that I was going to, if I'm being honest. Whenever it comes to like popular book talk books, I kind of go in with no expectations, but also with a little bit of a grain of salt, just in case I don't end up liking it. I actually really liked this one. The way that it ended though, I really don't know if I'm gonna pick up the sequel or not. I don't really know how I feel about the relationship anymore between the two of them. You know what it's giving? You know what it's giving? It is giving ACOTAR in a way. And I don't know which relationship it's giving. I don't know if it's giving Farrah and Rhysand or Farrah and Tamlin. I feel like it's a mixture of both. And that's terrifying to me. So I don't really know if I want this ship to succeed or not. Like the book, those last 100 pages, a whole 180 from what I was feeling before. I don't know what to think. I'm gonna have to sleep on it for a minute, but also there's no time to sleep on it because we need to figure out what I'm going to be reading next. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna rate this book. You'll probably find out in my next book wrap up whenever that's gonna come out. I have no idea. This was a good pick-me-up after my previous read. I don't think I've talked about this, but I have so many vampire books to choose from for this month that I'm like very excited to get to. But there's one in particular that I bought a few weeks ago when it came out that I have been looking at wanting to read. It stayed in the bag. I haven't given you guys like a book haul in forever, but I have no room on my shelf, so all of the books that I keep buying are still in their bags, to the point where I have like 3 or 4 bags surrounding my bookcases. The book that I'm talking about that I really want to read, Immortal Dark by Just Germa. I've been seeing this book everywhere, and I need to know what the hype is. And this book is so pretty, I had to get it. Look at those sprayed edges. Look at the end papers. Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding. Look at that. This is a pretty book. I know that this is a vampire book. I've been hearing nothing but praise about it everywhere, and I'm gonna read this next, and I'm very excited. I'm probably gonna start it tonight, and I'll let you guys know what I think right off the bat tomorrow, maybe. But right now I'm gonna chill. Right now I'm just gonna like woosah after the ending of Serpent and the Wings of Night. I need at least like a few hours of just zen. So I'll update you guys later. Hello everyone. It has been a few days since I last updated you because I've been kind of reading in the little downtime that I've been having. So I haven't gotten far in Immortal Dark. I'm actually almost exactly 100 pages in. I think I've gotten the gist of the story. It took me a minute, I'm not gonna lie. I could not tell what vibe the story was giving off for like a good like 50 something pages in. So I kept reading, and my goal is usually to get through 100 pages within like the first night of me reading, just so I can get a gist of the story. But again, I barely had time to like sit down and read. So I'm finally at 100 pages, and I'm gonna read a little bit more before I have to go to work in a few hours. But I just want to give you my thoughts right now. If you guys don't know what this book is about, it follows the main character, Kitten. I think that's how you pronounce her name, either Kitten or Kaiden, I don't know. But she is trying to find her twin sister who disappeared a year prior to when the book is taking place. And she has a feeling, or no, she has a hunch that her sister got abducted by a vampire. And while she's doing this, she is finding ways to get information, and not all of them you could say are morally okay, but she's desperate. And while all of this is going on, she has a run-in with a professor of a school that she knows about because her family are co-founders of the school. She knows like little bits and pieces of how her family is tied into the school, but the reason why she's interested in this person coming to her is because she thinks that the vampire that took her sister goes to the school or has something to do with the school. So the woman who stops by tells her that, hey, her aunt, her last living relative, died. So that means that Kitten is the only person in the family left to inherit her family house on campus, and so that means she needs to take it because a vampire who is, I guess, in the family's will is going to take it if she doesn't. And she finds out that the vampire is the vampire that she has a hunch took her sister. So I don't know if you followed that from what I said, because I kind of went in circles. But basically, she's going to this school, this vampire slash human school, to figure out what happened to her sister and get revenge on who took her sister. And in order to do that, she needs to basically live with the guy she thinks murdered her sister, took her, abducted her, whatever, and try to get him to admit that he's the one who did it. And so she's pulling evidence from like all of the students at the school, human and vampires. The way that it kind of works is like there are many different houses on campus. Okay, so like I've been confused, okay, because I've been trying to figure out what exactly the world is. From what I understand, this school campus houses humans and vampires. They live normally on campus. They just want to live their normal lives as students. So there's no real violence or anything. They both live in peace. But the way that vampires feed, I'm pretty sure, is through like bloodlines. So like depending on what house you're in, if a vampire is tied to your house, then that means I can only feed on the humans that are also tied to that house. Does that make sense? In Kitten's case, Kitten comes to this house and the only vampire that's tied to her house is her sister's potential kidnapper. Allegedly. So she's just like, oh, this is weird. This is crazy. Because all the other houses have like hundreds of vampires, all the more powerful houses on campus. And it's also weird because again, her family is one of the co-founders of this university. So she's just like, why are all of the vampires gone? And where's my sister? Like, it's just it's an interesting premise. And I'm sorry if it sounds like a lot, but that's literally what has been going on the past 100 pages. The way that I spoon-fed you this information is how I feel like I've been spoon-fed the information. It's a lot, okay? And I've been trying to get a good sense of the vibe of the book, because I'm not gonna lie, it's like kind of 5 different genres in one. It's like a murder mystery, but it's also YA fantasy, but it's also dark academia, but it's also like horror, because each of the houses on campus that a family is tied to is like a haunted house of sorts. Like, she's seeing a lot of things by living in this house on campus, and the house is making sure that she can't get a good night's rest. She's like, she's going through it. It's a lot. It's fun. It's spooky. It's giving. I just really couldn't tell what I was getting into. So I didn't want to come on here and update you guys until I was sure if I liked it or not. I do like it. I'm on chapter 19. On chapter 19. And I know I've said this before, but I really can't get over how pretty this book is. And this is the deluxe edition that dropped when the book dropped. I think the deluxe editions dropped first, so that's why this version of it is really pretty. But my coworker said that she has an edition that she's getting from Fairy Loot in like a month or 2, and she might give it to me. And that Fairy Loot edition, from what I've seen, is coming home with me. And in return, my coworker wants this copy because she likes this cover more. Stay tuned for that, because I'm very excited. She saw me reading it at work, and she was like, oh, I just got an email from Fairy Loot that I'm getting that book soon. And she showed me the cover, and I was gagged. The sprayed edges, the cover, it was eating. I can't wait for that. If I end up liking this book by the end, I will be taking that Fairy Loot edition home if my coworker allows me to, because I just love it when books are good and they're pretty. It's so rare that you can find those 2 things in one book. It's so rare. Either they're pretty and average, or good with a stale cover. But yeah, I'm gonna continue reading. Like I said, I have a few hours before I get to work. I just want to let you guys know that that's where I'm at. That's how I'm doing. And I honestly trust no one in this book. I don't even trust the main character, for real. I like her. I think she's very unhinged, very angry, rightfully so. And I like that she could kind of like flip at any moment. Like, she's not right in the head, this main character. It kind of gives like, not unreliable narrator, but like you're not really following someone who thinks before she does things. She's very much like, I'm gonna do this and say this because I feel like it. Fuck the consequences. And I support her, but it does make the reading experience very like a little bit jarring, just a tad. But again, enjoying it, gonna read it. I'll update you later, probably before I go to work. I finished chapter 27, and I need to talk about this for a second. It's a few days later, by the way, or like a day or 2 later. I don't remember the last time I recorded. But I finished chapter 27. I need to talk about this because the tension escalated like 0 to 100. I'm so invested in whatever is about to go down between these 2 characters. Kitten and Cecenius have some of the most racked up tension I think I've ever read in a romantasy book ever. Cause what, mind you, again, I just finished A Serpent in the Wings of Night. That had some crazy enemies to lovers tension. This though, this feels very personal, because it is. This tension is very, very racked up by, it's racked up by anger. But then I finally got to this chapter where like it's like somewhat sexual. Whatever just happened here, I would like more of it, please. I don't know what to say without going into much detail, but just know that something just went down that made Kitten feel humiliated, because as she should. What Cecenius just did humiliated her in front of a bunch of vampires. So there shouldn't have been any real sexual tension, but like I think it was like the setting and the vibe that did it. Like, I'm like hot. I'm sweating. Oh my gosh. Also, I think I found my new favorite character. I think his name is Taj Zuri. He's Cecenius' friend, best friend maybe. I don't know. I would like to see more of him. Because he's the only reason why she got out of here alive. And I would like to know more. I would like to see more. I would like to know more. But to be honest, all of the characters so far in this book I am very interested in. Also just experienced my first character death. I'm not even halfway into this book yet and I'm already experiencing a character death. I'm so sick. Sick, very sad, but we move. So what that taught me is that I can't get invested into any of the humans specifically. I can't get invested into any of Kitten's pals that she's making her study group. I can't get too invested into them because the way that one of these characters just got killed off, I'm kind of upset. But I needed to log on real quick to talk about chapter 27 because what was that? And I think that was the longest chapter. Because I'm not gonna lie, these chapters are pretty short. Like each of them are like maybe 2-3 pages. That one was like 10, I feel like. From beginning to end, I was hooked. Like I said earlier, I love a good enemies to lovers. This is my genre, enemies to lovers. My trope, romantic is my genre. I'm eating so good. I'm eating so good. And I haven't mentioned this yet, but I really do love the fact that everyone in this book is black. I haven't come across one white person, and I don't think I'm going to. I'm enjoying this book. I feel like my feelings earlier were very like, let's wait and see. I think after that chapter I'm in. Like, I knew that the romance was coming between the two of them, but after whatever that was, you've got me. What's the author's name? What is your name? Just Gurma? You've got me, girl. You've got me. I'm in. I'm hooked. Good job. Hi guys. It's later in the day. It's same day. And I am like a little over halfway through this. I'm on chapter 44. Page 234. I'm kind of gagged. Like, I don't know. I never can tell where this book is going. It's not predictable in any way, so all of the plot twists that I've been hit with back to back over the past like 5 chapters, they've been a lot, and I really don't know who to trust. I don't know what's going on anymore. Like, I just got hit with like a really good plot twist, gagged me for real, and now I don't know. And I think Kadan, which by the way, I decided to look up how the characters' names are supposed to be pronounced, because at some point I was like, there's no way I'm pronouncing these names right. So apparently the author, who by the way I also mispronounced her name, my bad, her name is Tyga Skirma. She made a TikTok explaining how the characters' names are pronounced and like how different words in the book are pronounced. The main character's name is Kadan, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and then the love interest or second main character is Susinios. So if I haven't been pronouncing that right, I know I have not. Now I do. Those are the correct pronunciations, and I will be pronouncing them right for the rest of this. Kadan has now realized the error in her ways at this point in the book, and now the switch up is about to get crazy. Susinios knows things, but I can't tell what he knows. Like, I'm trying to figure out the mystery aspect of this book before I'm told what it is. And I can't figure out what he does and does not know, unless he really just knows nothing. By the way, his lore, interesting. Very interesting. Every time I get to know more about him as a character, I'm just like, oh, because I don't know how old he is as a vampire. It's very confusing. But like, some info dump about him happened a few chapters ago, and I'm just like, damn, how old are you, bro? I really fuck with his friend group. They're friends of his, but they're also like ride or dies in the most literal way, because they're kind of his soldiers in a way, like kind of, and I fuck with them. Taj, a character that I mentioned before, is one of them. Love him. He's loyal by default. Which, I don't know, I kind of respect. And then the other one, Aniko, she scares me, but I kind of like that. But yeah, I just got hit with the biggest plot twist in the world. I want to continue reading this. The time is currently 11:12. It's 11:12. I have work tomorrow morning, so I can't stay up all night, but like, I really want to get at least close, like 3/4 of the way into the book, like so close to the ending that I can taste it. I feel like I'm definitely gonna finish this book maybe on Saturday. Today's Thursday. I might finish this book by Saturday, and I honestly cannot wait. I feel like this book took me a minute to get into, but now that like I'm like in the middle of the book, it's ramping up to be like a perfect book in my opinion. Like, I can name some flaws, but I feel like I shouldn't do that until the end. I'm really liking this book so far. Okay guys, next day, next morning. I can't tell if you can tell how far I am by my bookmark placement, but I read a little bit more last night. I'm on chapter 50. I'm this close to being done. Reading two good enemies to lovers books and a romantasy can do something to a girl. I feel like there's been like an IV hooked up to my brain, to my veins, that has made me go feral. I don't know. I feel like pumping this in my veins could make me go crazy. But I'm on chapter 50 and I have a lot to say, but I have to get to work in like a few minutes, so I can't say everything I want to say now. The development of the relationship between Sucinios and Adon is so, I don't even know, like the line between love and hate is so thin, and I know that's what the enemies to lovers trope is about. Like, you hate them so much that you start to actually care for them and their well-being. But with this, it was very much like flipping a switch so quick that I couldn't even. And then when the flipping of the switch did happen, I was so like, wow. He said something in this previous chapter, or maybe it was it was literally right before I stopped. He was like, and this is not a spoiler, at least I don't think it is, but he said, "It's a shame that when I finally find my potential equal, she cannot love herself enough to remain in this world. How will you ever conquer the observatory when you carry such hatred of yourself?" That was basically a love confession. We're so back. And also the character development of just Adon herself. I really am enjoying her as a character a lot more as I read the book, because her whole thing is like trying to find her sister, to avenge her sister, and then maybe like find a purpose for herself. Because if you couldn't tell by that quote, Adon doesn't have the best feelings towards herself. She doesn't have much love for herself as a person because of everything she has done to find her sister, or possibly being the reason why her sister chose to leave in the first place. You know, like she's facing a lot of inner demons throughout the whole entire book, and she's starting to get to a point now as she builds a community at this school, friends at this school, people that she trusts, that she's learning to like actually enjoy being on Earth. Like, as messed up as that sounds, like she's not really in the best mental space, so like she always felt like she had little to no reason to live, and being at the school, which ironically for her she saw as a death sentence, actually has helped her become more of a human being, or feel more human. And I just think that's beautiful. I'm touched. I'm truly touched. And I really like her character development. And I don't know, I'm really enjoying this. And also, yes, the romance is eating. Like, I don't know, well, who's surprised? Not me. Yeah, I don't know, I might finish this book during work today. I should be working. I shouldn't say that. But if I could sneak in a few chapters here and there, like, who's gonna stop me? Because this is so good. This is so good. Okay, I do need to get to work though, so yeah, I just want to update you guys because I left off on a really good chapter. And again, the more I learn about Sucinios, the more I'm kind of just like, oh, you're it. Like, you're that guy. Like, there was something that he explained in the previous chapter that he does for, I can't say it. I can't say it, but like, there's something really sweet that he does for a certain group of people, a certain community of people, and it really just like brought a tear to my eye. Like, I never thought he was bad or anything, but I couldn't tell what his vibe was. Like, I can't tell still what he might know and what he doesn't. He keeps his cards very close to his chest, but every time we get some of his lore, every time we get a little bit more about him, I'm like, oh, well, whatever you do end up doing, or whatever you do know, can't be that bad. I'm forgiving him before it even happens. That's how down bad I am for this man. I think he's low-key, maybe, sort of perfect. Still don't know how old he is though. Like, I know that he's old. Haven't gotten an age drop yet. For any of the vampires, actually. I would like to know. Hi guys, I'm back home after work. I got this much left. I sound like I just ran a relay race or something. I'm so out of breath. Not because of anything except for this book. I have been reading basically all day at work. Today was a very slow shift, so I actually am very close to being done with this book. I feel like I have like maybe a little less than 100 pages left. I'm on chapter 57. We just had Cassia Day, okay. A day to be free of laws of promises. So basically, the chapter that I just read, it was basically like where humans leave campus and vampires get to kill whoever they want who's on the campus, okay? That includes other vampires. So like if a vampire has some kind of vengeance against another vampire, they have free range to do whatever they want to that person on this one day, okay? And of course, Kadan is not going to leave campus, even though she's a human. She should leave. She didn't. So for reasons, I'm not going to go into the reasons because spoilers, but that entire chapter, I'm sorry, I'm like flustered thinking about it. I was reading it during my lunch break and I wanted to record, but I didn't bring my camera and I was so frustrated. That entire chapter was basically him being very possessive and protective. Sicinios, oh my God, breathe, Marina. That entire chapter was just Sicinios being very protective and possessive, and I don't know. I'm here for it. Sent me over the edge. Also got a little bit steamy. I've said this once, I think, and I'll say it again. I don't think this is a YA book. The stuff that they almost did in that chapter, there's no way. There's no way. But I'm gonna let it slide. The next chapter, now we're going back to the plot. We're going back to the original plot of the book in the next chapter. But that chapter 56, I'm flustered, sweating, out of breath. They're meant for each other. They're equals. Them, Kadan and Sicinios, oh, real love is back. True love is back. And the crazy thing is with them, you can't tell if it's love or hate. You can't tell if what they're feeling for each other is built off of the amount of hatred they have or like love. And I can't tell either, if I'm being honest. But either way, that's soulmate right there. The way that I've been like speeding through it the last 24 hours, I might as well just finish it tonight. And it makes me sad too, because I think this is the first book in a series, and this book just came out like a month or two ago. It's fine, it's fine. I'm gonna be waiting a minute. I don't have to worry about that until the end though. Let me just take this in. This is really good. If you guys have not thought about picking up this book or haven't heard of this book, Immortal Dark by Tigis Germa, you need to do that. You need to do that right now. After you're done watching this video, go get it. I might be speaking too soon because again, I'm not done with it. The ending might be trash, but I highly doubt it. Like, I don't know. I don't think that Tigis is gonna fail me. I don't know why. I've never read a book by this woman. I think this is her debut novel, but I feel like the ending's gonna be great. Okay, I'm so close to being done. I am so close and I'm scared. I don't know if you guys can see that little slither of paper. That's how little I have left. I just had the biggest plot twist revealed. And I want to say I saw it coming because I did, but the reveal explains so much that I'm kind of like sitting here in awe. Like, I had a feeling what happened was going to happen, but not in the way that I thought it was going to happen. So now I'm just sitting here like, oh. I just want to say that I called it. And you guys aren't gonna know what I'm talking about because I'm not spoiling anything, but just know that I called it and that's all. But again, it's like not in the way that I thought it was gonna happen, so I'm still in shock. But that was good. That was a good chapter. Chapter 63, that was a good chapter. I finished it. And I'm kind of tired and I'm overwhelmed and my neck hurts because I've been bending it at the same angle for like 2 hours while reading. But I finished it and now I'm so upset because I'm gonna have to wait at least like a year or two for the sequel. I knew what I was getting into. I knew what was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna get hooked and that I was gonna be mad at the end because I'd have to wait for the next part. I don't know why I'm acting surprised. I don't know why I'm acting brand new. Overall, I think it's too soon for me to like give a clear-cut rating for this book. I think I'm literally gonna have to sleep on it tonight and figure out what I want to rate it, or like my overall thoughts. But like what I'm feeling right now, I don't know. This is book that I already had very high expectations of, because I don't think I mentioned this, but I do follow the author on TikTok. And she's been talking about this book for months, like probably like the past year. I've been seeing TikToks about this book coming out, and I've low-key been counting down the days until I could finally get my hands on it and read it. And my expectations were so high, and somehow this like exceeded them in a way. Everything I thought was gonna happen did not happen, or if it did, it was in a way that I was not expecting, and it kept me on my toes the entire time, and I slowly but surely fell in love with almost every single character. Like, it was a slow build to love every character. It's not even like I liked them right away, and then by the end all of these characters are kind of my family. I don't know. The suspense of it all. Let me just talk about this real quick. I don't really know if I mentioned this. I probably did. I've been reading this book over the course of a week. I don't remember what I talked about already, but I think it's so fascinating how Taiga Skirma managed to just like put like 5 different genres in one book. Her brain is kind of insane. And also, I did not notice this, but the end pages of the book have something really cute that no one else would understand unless you've read the book. And obviously I didn't notice it when I opened it up the first time because I didn't think anything of it because it's just end papers. But it's basically Suseños checking out the Mad Lovers since 1963, and then in 2023 Kadan checked it out. If you know, you know. If you read the book, you know. Oh, that's kind of perfect. Like, how old is this man? I still don't know how old he is. But I think that was a good way to foreshadow something. Anyway, yeah, I'm overwhelmed if you can't tell. I'm tired, overwhelmed, my neck hurts, I'm gonna lay down. But phenomenal book. Phenomenal debut. Because again, this is, I think, her first novel, her first book ever. She ate. Go check out this book. Go check this out. Go read it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for my next read for this vlog. Hi everyone, it's a new day today, and that means new book. I have a plethora of vampire books to choose from, okay? And I've been trying to think about it for the past like day or two, knowing that I was about to finish Immortal Dark, what I would read next. I've come to the conclusion that I'm going to read A Dowry of Blood by S.T. Gibson. I've been wanting to read this book for years. I bought it last year to read during October, and I never got to it for some reason. Now is the time to get to it, I guess. I've heard literally nothing but great things about this book for years, and I don't really know much about it other than it takes place obviously in a fantasy setting, and it's about one of Dracula's wives, I think his first wife, and her version of Dracula's story, and I'm intrigued by that. Also, I heard it might be a little bit queer, which is always one for me, so I'm gonna read it. I might start it at work. I'm not gonna lie, I'm going into this book with pretty high expectations because I've literally heard people rave about it forever, and I've never read anything by S.T. Gibson, so I hope that this is a win. But yeah, this is gonna be my next read. I can't wait. Let's go. Okay, update. It's like a few days later. I am really enjoying this book so far. I have not been giving any true updates because I haven't really been reading it. And I feel like if I really dedicated my time, I could get through this book in a day. It's very short. The text is pretty big. I just haven't really... Every time I look at this book, I'm just like, I don't feel like picking you up. But then when I do pick you up, it's really good. So I don't know what's wrong with me. I've been reading a majority of what I've been reading during work. I'm not reading at home for some reason. I might fix that when I get home later. But yeah, I'm 100 pages in. No, 109 pages in. I'm right here. I'm in part 2 of the book. And I've never read anything by S.T. Gibson, but I'm really enjoying this book. And I had a feeling that I would. You know what it does give me? It does give me Interview with the Vampire vibes, except it gives me the vibes of what I wanted the book to be. You know, like I can't get over how disappointed I am that I did not like that book. And so being able to read this, it really gave me the vibes of what I expected for the Interview with the Vampire book to be because of how much I love the show. So I feel like if you like Interview with the Vampire the show, you should read this book. It's talking in the second person. So one of Dracula's wives, Constanta, however you pronounce her name. She is speaking directly to Dracula, so she's always just like, you did this, you said this. So it's like it's talking directly at you, which I like. So like it's not technically like an interview, but it does feel very personal and vulnerable. It's kind of like she's spewing in her diary about everything that this man put her through, which, by the way, that's another reason why I've been taking my time reading this book. Reminds me how men piss me off. And so I can't, I'm like, every time I read like another chapter, I have to put the book down because I'm getting enraged, which I already knew, because obviously I think I mentioned this. It is about Dracula and his wives and the abusive relationship that he put all of them through, but specifically Constanta. And I read the trigger warning, so I knew what I was getting into. It doesn't make me any less upset. It doesn't make me any less angry. So I'm like taking my time with this, but I don't know what I want to do. I'm definitely going to finish this book in like a day or two, but every time I pick it up, I just, men are annoying. But I like the way that no page is wasted, no word is wasted. We kind of get straight into things. Like as soon as I open the book, straight into the story. Like I was already in it, and it's like fast paced, but not, I don't know, it's not too quick that I'm just like, whoa, things are developing quickly. It's more so like it's fast paced, as in there's nothing being dragged out, I guess. Everything is paced at the way it should be. There's nothing that needs to be dragged out that isn't being dragged out. Finally getting introduced to another wife. I think there are like 3 or 4 wives in total that I'm going to meet. It's gonna stay in Constanta's point of view throughout the whole entire book, but I think I've finally gotten to the point now where another wife has entered the picture, and this book is queer. I don't know if I mentioned that part. I've heard that this book is very queer, and I'm getting to those parts. Yay, hello LGBTs. Yeah, that's my update before I go to work. I realize I haven't updated you guys in a few days, and whoopsies, that's my bad, but I do want to tell you guys that I'm liking the book. That's all. Okay, bye. Hi. I don't know the last time I updated. I'm gonna be so real right now. I don't know, but I'm this far into the book. I'm so close to being done. I really have not been updating you guys of me reading this at all, and that's because every time I pick it up, I speed through it to the point where I forget to update you. And to be honest, I haven't really been reading it at all the past week. Like the past week has been such a dry reading week, which is very frustrating. But yeah, I'm almost done with this. I had like a 5-hour shift today, and I spent most of my time reading it to the point where I'm almost done. And I want to tell you my thoughts, because I think this is going to be one of my favorites from this month. If I had to pick a favorite, this is so good. I've gotten to the part now where I don't think it's a spoiler, because it's kind of implied that all of Dracula's partners end up killing him, which is why they're writing this book, or why one of his wives, Constanta, is writing this book. They're getting to the part now where they're killing him. And I've been waiting for this one. Turn it up. I think I said this in the last update. This book reminds me of why I cannot stand men. I can't. However, the one guy, one of the husbands, because at this point now there are 3 partners that Dracula has. Constanta, he has Magdalena, which I haven't talked about her much, but I do like her as a character, and Alexei, which is one of Dracula's husbands. And I love Alexei so much. That's baby boy. I love him, truly. When I say this book reminds me of why I hate men, it reminds me of like all of the terrible traits that are found in men. And that's what Dracula is. That's literally what he is. Like, this book does a good job of encapsulating what an abusive relationship entails. Like, specifically when it comes to like the manipulation aspect and the gaslighting. Ooh, it's been riling me up. I've been getting so mad. I was reading this book at my job, festering in my anger and my irritation and my frustration. But now they're killing him. So yeah, I just finished one chapter where we actually got to see Magdalena's point of view, because like I said, this is all in Constanta's point of view, but I think this chapter, this one page of a chapter, was in Magdalene's point of view. And that's interesting to me. I don't know if we're gonna get more like that again. I have literally maybe less than 50 pages. Like, it's not a lot. It's not a lot, but I've been wondering how the other partners feel about this relationship. Like, you can kind of tell in context clues based off of what Constanta is saying about them and their relationship and their dynamic, but I really want to know how they're feeling about being in this situation with other people. I also think that the dynamic of a poly relationship is interesting. I've never read a book like this before, and obviously I don't think all poly relationships are like this. God forbid. This is a very abusive relationship, but I've never read any book with that kind of premise where it's about like multiple people in a relationship. I don't know. I think I like that. I would like to read something like that in a different context, because this is a crazy book. This is crazy. It's really good though. I think I mentioned this last time, but I really like how fast paced it is. Like, we're not wasting time. We're getting the bullet points of what their life was living for like a couple centuries, but it doesn't feel like it's rushed. It feels like everything is timed out perfectly, and I feel like I understand the reasoning behind what they're doing and why they're doing it and who they are as characters. Yeah, this might be one of my favorites, guys. Guys, I've been getting progressively worse at doing this video as the month goes on. I'm so sorry, but I have finished A Diary of Blood. I finished this 2 days ago. I finished this 2 days ago, and I really liked it. I think on Storygraph I gave it like a 4.5, 4.75. I don't know. I would have gotten a 5-star if not for like some little issues I have that might be a little nitpicky, but whatever. Overall, I really love that book. And I don't think I gave off the vibe that I did, because I only updated you guys like maybe twice about it while I was reading, but it really was a quick read, okay? Like, this book is so easy to get through, to the point where I don't know why I spent a week reading it, because once I actually sat down without being bothered, I got through this book in like 2 hours. So yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I finished it. And my current read right now is A Tempest of Tea. I haven't gotten far in that one. I'm only like 3 chapters in, so like 20-30 pages. And guys, I had no idea that this was a King Arthur retelling. I've been waiting for this book for so long. I had literally no idea that there was a King Arthur retelling in it. So while this is also one of my most anticipated books of the year, I'm somehow even more intrigued than I was before, okay? My book is in my bag. I don't feel like getting it out, but I'm really liking so far the world, I guess. Like, it's a vampire book, but in a way where it's like not your typical vampire book. Like, it's a YA book, first of all, so like there are some YA elements. All I know, and I've said this once, I'll say it again, this book has something to do with a heist and it's vampires, and now I know that it is a King Arthurian retelling. And I guess I should have known, because the main character's name is literally Arthie. Like, hello, Marina, 1 + 1 = 2. I don't know why I didn't clock it immediately, but that's besides the point. Yeah, I'm liking it. Not gonna lie, I haven't been reading at all today. I'm rewatching My Life with the Walter Boys. Ooh, my bad. Sorry. I might try to read at work tonight though, and if not, I'm definitely gonna read after work, because this is the book I low-key wanted to make this video for anyways. I've been so excited to read A Tempest of Tea, but I didn't want to read it as soon as it came out. I wanted to wait until October to read it. So sorry for the lack of updates. This video is kind of all over the place, but I am still reading. I'm just not reading as much as I wish I would, or updating you guys as much as I wish I would. Ooh, sorry. Okay, I'll try to get better at that though, I swear. Hello everyone. I'm 100 pages into A Tempest of Tea. I read through some of it last night, like I said that I would, and y'all, I'm actually really hooked. I've been waiting for this book for a long time. However, I didn't really know much about it other than the points that I made before. I'm kind of obsessed with the character dynamics of it. Just a tiny bit. Like, I don't know. I'm already like a third of the way into the book, and I'm like gonna try to finish it today. Don't hold me to that, but it's the way that I've been thinking about this book since I woke up this morning. It's actually insane. I know that a lot of people, specifically people who read YA, tend to compare a lot of like heist fantasy books to Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and I have read Six of Crows, and I liked it and I was like, okay, that was a good book, but I honestly never understood like the hype for it. Like, I've never really understood comparing every heist book to that duology, because to me it was just like, okay, like I had a good time, but it wasn't like anything spectacular. With this book here, oh, we're cooking, friends. We are cooking. The characters, the relationships that I can already see forming, the actual like story and how the vampires fit into the story. Because let's just be clear, I don't think I've explained this world or even like the premise itself, but the vampires aren't like seen as the supremes in the society. Like, yes, they have like their hierarchies and stuff, but like they're not really like in the story all that much so far, at least. Again, I'm only like 100 pages in, but I'm kind of intrigued as to how like the vampire aspect fits in here. Now mind you, one of the characters in the book, a part of the crew, is a vampire, so I'm sure we'll get to know more about the vampire since he is a part of the crew. Mateo, already love him. Anyway, I'm intrigued because the way that they're describing like the vampires and their abilities and how they're viewed in society, interesting to me, but I don't know what to make of it yet because we haven't really seen much of them. I just got to the part where Arthi gets everyone together, all of these people who are basically strangers, and is like, hey, I got a heist that I need to do and I need y'all with me. And everyone's reactions so funny. Also the humor in the book, I really like the humor. Like Hafsa Faisal is kind of a comedian. Like, I don't know, everything just flows so naturally. The banter is everything to me. Okay, and yeah, that's basically it. That's all I really wanted to share, but I just want to update you guys because I know I'm going to be reading more probably at my job, and I didn't want to get like halfway into the book without letting you guys know this is where I'm at, this is how I'm feeling. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. This book is not disappointing me at all. Did not know this because I don't know, I just didn't think about it, but the POVs in the book, there are like 3 or 4 POVs. Wasn't expecting that. Honestly, based off of the cover, since Arthi, this is Arthi, since Arthi's on the cover, I thought it was going to be in her point of view, but obviously with a heist book, there are going to be multiple POVs. I just didn't think about that. You can hear the different voices with each character, which is something I really appreciate, because usually when it comes to books like this, it's very easy for the characters' voices to kind of blend together and have no one really stand out. But so far, with the point of views that I have read from, I think that the author's doing a really good job of making sure that each one is distinct and has their own personality. Like, even without each chapter being like chapter 6 Arthi, chapter 7 Jin, whatever, I can still tell who this chapter is, like whose voice I'm reading from, which is always a plus. But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go to work now. I'll talk to you guys later, probably when I get off. Hello everyone, I am over halfway into A Tempest of Tea and I'm on part 2. The heist is officially happening. I'm in the middle of the heist taking place. Before part 2 was just like the planning of how they were gonna do it. So now the action is happening, and yeah, I think that this is also going to be a high rated book. I don't know. I think that I'm enjoying every aspect of this. Not even just like the characters, but also the story of the heist. Because usually when it comes to like, oh, the planning and technical stuff, I kind of just like don't pay attention to it all that much. It's kind of like a blur to me. But like when it comes to this, I don't know if it's the world or the way that the plan is being explained, but I feel like I understand every aspect of the heist, why every character is doing it for the most part, why this is so important to every single one of them, what they need in order to succeed in the plan. And it's all just like very high stakes, and it makes me more and more into the story as I go on. I'm on chapter 28. I'm definitely going to finish this book today. There's nothing stopping me. It's my day off, so I get all day to read. Yay. I also think, as of right now, my favorite character is probably Arthi or Jin. I don't know. It might be because like they are the main characters. Like this whole story is centered around them wanting to save their tea room shop, so maybe that's why. But I think that in terms of like all the characters that we've been introduced to so far, I am so invested in like not just them as characters but in their friendship as a whole. I love Arthie and Jen's friendship, and I love reading from their point of views. That's another thing, we only get 3 point of views so far. So like I've only read from Jen, Arthie, and Flick's point of view. Also the relationship that's happening between Flick and Jen. Hafsa Faisal, I see you and I respect you. Like this is, like I said, the romance in this book is really something amazing. Like I'm invested in every single part of this book, truly. The only like thing I'm confused about is like the King Arthur retelling. Like I think I mentioned this before, I did not know that that was a part of this, and I don't really understand the point of it. It's the one thing that's making me like question a little bit of why that's in here, because this book could easily thrive without mentioning like different parts of King Arthur, or even relating the characters to King Arthur characters, because it doesn't add anything to the book but it also doesn't take away anything. It's just kind of in there to be there. And I don't really understand why it's included. But that's like my only thing, and even then I'm not really like bothered by it. It's kind of just like, why are we referencing this? Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I don't know if I'm gonna give any more updates, to be honest. I kind of just want to like read the rest of this in one sitting, and then we can decide on what the next book is gonna be. Well, everyone, it's another book down. I have finished A Tempest of Tea by Hafsa Faisal. Wow. This is yet me falling victim to another book that is the first of the series that I'm going to have to wait for the other books to come out for. And that's fine. That's fine. I think I knew that going in, that this was going to be a series, so I'm not upset. But that cliffhanger, man. Wow. I think that this book is so good. I'm so happy I was not disappointed. Imagine me going through years of anticipation for this book just to not even like it in the end. I would have turned into the Green Goblin or the Joker. But no, I luckily really liked this book. I liked all the characters. I liked the story. I liked the story progression. Nothing felt rushed or slow. Everything felt evenly paced. And I liked the vampires in this book because it's weird. Like usually in like other vampire books, it's very clear that vampires are seen as the enemy because of how powerful they are. And yeah, there might be a little hints of them being alluring or so beautiful that you can't stay away and blah blah blah. But usually in other stories you can tell that like they are the main enemy according to the world. In this book, vampires are not the main enemy. Like yes, they're not trusted by humans, but the main enemy in this book, this series, are political figures and colonizers. I like that a lot. It's kind of like the vampires were like side characters. They were in the book without being like the main part of the book. Like there was no need from any of the main characters to destroy vampires. If anything, they were chill with the vampires. They were just like, yeah, we cohabitate with them. We're chum, we're friends, we're cool. It's the bad guys in power that we need to take down. Not the vampires, but like the political figures. And I like that. I think that was like the main selling point of this book for me as I was reading it. I was like, oh, the nuance here. Sounds a little bit too relatable if you ask me, but anyway, yeah, very great book. I'm so happy that I enjoyed this. I don't know what I would rate it right now. I think I have to like sleep on it. I know I'm gonna give it a high rating. There's a little to nothing that I disliked about this book, to be honest. And the plot twist, that plot twist raised it up for me. My coworker did read this book and she was like, the plot twist, you're not ready for it, Marina. Like you're really not. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then I forgot about that conversation until the plot twist came and I was like, oh, this is what she was talking about. Cool. Excellent mind you have, Hafsa. Excellent mind. I peep. I'm excited for the sequel. I think it comes out next year around my birthday, which is I think the same time the Immortal Dark sequel comes out. Funny enough, I know what I'm getting for my birthday: a whole lot of books next year. But anyway, That's another book down. And I think the way that I'm going to end out this vlog, I have officially decided, is to read one more book. I'm going to be reading Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I've already said my thoughts on Ali Hazelwood multiple times over like many videos, so I'm not going to divulge my thoughts before getting into this book. I'm going in with a clean slate. I don't know anything about it other than there are vampires and that it's a vampire werewolf romance, and I'm pretty sure this is her first like romantasy. So again, going in with a clean slate, no expectations for real. I'm just gonna save this for last. I'm gonna read it. I'm going to read this. I might start it a little bit tonight. I can't tell how I feel before going in. I'm looking at the cover and the cover is cute. I read the synopsis a while back, thought it was cute. Let's see what it's giving, okay? I am on chapter 9 of Bride. I think that this book is fun so far. Like I said, went into it no expectations, and I'm having a pretty good time. Like, I'm about 100 pages in. I'm on page 117. I like the characters of this book, like a lot more than I thought. I've been hearing a lot of things about this book since it came out, mainly positive things. A lot of people who are Ali Hazelwood fans say that this is her best book, which I think is interesting because it's the one that's least like her other books. Sorry if you hear my stomach, ignore that. I'm so hungry. Yeah, with all of those reviews that I've seen, I was kind of just like, how good could it really be? Especially because this is her first time doing something like this. But I think that this is low-key her bread and butter, dare I say, as someone who's only ever read one other Ali Hazelwood book, because the way that she's like developing the romance in this book feels a lot more natural than the last time I read her books. Just for context, for those of you that don't know, last book I read by her was The Love Hypothesis. I don't know if that's the best or worst book to go off of when it comes to like comparing this and that, I don't know, but I thought that the book was very meh. I thought that the characters were meh. I didn't think that the romance was all that good. With this, the slow burn of the romance here is really, it's doing something to me, and the characters have barely interacted with each other, but something about that I really like. I also like the main character, Misery. Also, her first name being Misery is sick, evil, sad. Anyway, I like Misery. I like her motivations, her reasoning behind this arranged marriage. I don't think I even talked about this. This is arranged marriage enemies to lovers trope. I don't know. Vampires and werewolves are enemies in this book, but her and Lo, the main guy, aren't really enemies, but they have to deal with obviously outside forces viewing their relationship as an enemies to lovers. So it's like, it's that kind of book, okay? And yeah, the slow build to their relationship and how they communicate with each other, which is again little to none so far. They barely interacted. I fuck with it, to put it bluntly. I don't know. But I do have to go to work soon. I just wanted to update you guys because I'm thoroughly enjoying myself. I have this much left. Like, I'm not even halfway into the book, but this is very easy to read. So I feel like I could easily finish this today if I wanted to, but we'll see. Honestly, no real rush, even though we are getting to the end of the month. It's fine. I like this book to the point where like I do want to just like get through all of it. Like, why waste time? I will say the main thing that I'm not really invested in would be the actual conflicts, like the political conflicts of this book. I really do not care. And I don't know what that says about me. Like the reasoning behind this arranged marriage and like the politics behind why they're doing it, like, yes, that's great, world building, all that's wonderful, but it's not interesting enough for me to like latch onto that in the book. That's one of the things I kind of do feel meh about, but besides that, everything else great. Okay, hi. I am like halfway in. I don't know if you guys can see where that mark is. It's where my bookmark is at. Hold on. This far into it. Yeah? Okay. I'm on chapter 15. Why am I actually really enjoying this? Why am I really liking this? Oh no. Not oh no. It's not like, again, I was trying to be open-minded going in. I just didn't think I'd like it this much. The romance in this book, the setup of the romance specifically, because again, nothing has happened yet. I'm like halfway into it. Nothing has really happened yet up until like this point where I stopped. Things were getting a little bit interesting. But for the most part, it's been very slow build for the relationship between Misery and Lo, and I like it. I like it a lot. Also, I don't think I talked about this. Another trope that's in this book is kind of like a single dad trope. Lo has a little sister, and so he's technically not the parent of his sister, obviously, but he's like her legal guardian in a sense. So adding that in the book could have easily been a miss for me, because if you guys don't know this, I'm not the biggest fan of like single parent romances. Like it doesn't do it for me. Kids being in a romance, it doesn't do it for me. However, like, I don't know, something about it in here, it's hitting. It's hitting, dare I say. Yeah, I didn't expect to like that much, but every time Anna, his little sister, is in the book and he's interacting with her, I get like so like heartwarmed by it. I don't know. My goal was to finish this book today, but I took a long ass nap. And I'm just now waking up. This is how far I got before I took the nap, and I could spend all night finishing it, because again, this book is very easy to get through. Like, nothing is really holding me back from finishing this in one sitting. Who's gonna stop me? But yeah, where I'm at right now, some stuff just happened between Lo and Misery, and it's not like, I don't know. I don't know. But I've gotten to the point now where like all the werewolves in the book are starting to warm up to Misery, since, you know, she's married to their alpha. Explaining this sounds so stupid. But I'm getting to the point now where like everyone's being chill towards Misery now that they know that like she's not going anywhere anytime soon and she can be trusted. So they're just like, okay, maybe you're cool, maybe you're all right. Like, I don't know. So yeah, seeing her form friendships, like real friendships with people after being isolated because of her demented father since she was a child, love that for her. I just want to update you guys because I don't think I'm gonna update for the rest of the night. I'm gonna try, but I'm really just so into this book that I do keep forgetting to pick up my camera and give you guys updates. Yeah, I think that the progression of the relationship between Lo and Misery feels very like realistic. Like, they're kind of allies at this point. Again, nothing for real has happened, but like they went from like strangers to allies to friends. Like, they're kind of chilling as friends, and I like that. I like the slow build up, because again, you could view this as an enemies to lovers because of who they are as people, as species, but like they haven't had no beef at all. The entire book. If anything, the people surrounding them have more beef with each other than they do as like a couple. So yeah, I honestly would just put this as like a strangers to lovers, arranged marriage, single parent trope. Again, usually not the kind of thing that I go for. So it's like, it really has me gagged that I'm liking this book this much, but maybe the people were right. I don't know, maybe it's too close to tell. I still have the rest of the book to get through, but just want to give you guys that update before I spend the rest of the night reading. Okay, I'm back. I know I said that that was going to be the last update for the night, but I just want to say something, like, just as like a complimentary thing towards Allie Hazelwood. I'm giving her her flowers for this book, because I do think, like, in terms of like her first attempt at a romantasy, I think that this is like pretty decent. And one of the things that I like is that this book is not dual POV, which isn't like good or a bad thing, you know. Like, I can do with a romance that's dual POV, I can do with it not being dual POV. It doesn't really affect how I view the romance book. What I think is very different and what I like about this though is that even though it is in Misery's point of view, she has like these little, I don't know what you would call it, like these little things at the beginning of each chapter that are in Lo's point of view, like kind of like a setup for how the chapter is going to be from his point of view before diving straight into the chapter. I don't know how to show this without spoiling anything, so I'm just gonna do it at the first chapter, or maybe the prologue. Maybe the prologue is better. Also, I knew I was gonna like this book. Guys, look at the dedication. Look at the dedication. Like, she's sick. Cause what? As soon as I saw that, I knew. Okay, Allie Hazelwood, maybe you're a comedian. See, like the prologue, this is like at the beginning of the book, and this part right here, I didn't realize it's going in, but this is obviously in Lo's point of view. And it sets up the rest of the chapter or prologue, because in the prologue it's when they're getting married, and here he's saying this marriage is going to be a problem, she is going to be a problem. And I think it's nice to get his own like perspective and like little bits and pieces for the setup of each chapter. I think that that's very unique because, again, for the most part it is just Misery. Like, it's her thoughts, how she views Lo. We don't really get to see how he views her, though I have a feeling. I have a feeling that I know how he feels. I can see the setup of the relationship from like a mile away. I can see the build up to the climax. Like, I understand his feelings, but it's nice to get like little excerpts of how he feels and to just get like a clear idea of what the chapter is going to be before going into it based off of like his thoughts. I don't know. I just thought that was really creative. Anyway, yeah, that's it. Okay, bye. Okay, I am so close to finishing this book, guys. It's the next day. I don't know if you can see that little slither, that little spot there, but that's how close I am to finishing it. I spent up until like 2 a.m., maybe 3, reading until I just couldn't take it anymore and I had to go to sleep. But I think I'm gonna finish the rest of Bride while I'm at work today. So you won't immediately get my final thoughts because I'm not taking you with me to work. That's weird. But I will be updating you on my feelings towards this book once I'm done with work. But right now, I just got to like the 3rd act breakup, or as close as you can get to a 3rd act breakup when you're in arranged marriage. Like, I don't know. But, you know, a whole lot of miscommunication. This is like my least favorite thing about romances, and I haven't read like a romance in a minute, like in months, I feel like, and it's reminding me that this is why. I got so tired of the 3rd act breakup part in romances to the point where like I couldn't do it anymore, so I took a long break. And it was just a coincidence that my reading slump just so happened to coincide with that break from romance. So yeah, this is the part of the book where I'm just like, I could easily do without this, but it's fine because I'm still having fun. I have less than 100 pages to go. So yeah, I'll probably finish this honestly as soon as I get to work, if we're not busy. My thoughts before I finish this book, I think that, and this is coming from someone who has not read any other Allie Hazelwood book besides The Love Hypothesis, I feel like she should stick with stuff like this. I like everything about this, and I feel like this is like her thing. Could be wrong because it's only her first book in the romantasy realm, but seriously, I think that she's way too good at this to just stick to like girl and STEM romance books, you know? Like, it's just, and don't get me wrong, there are some aspects of like her regular writing in this, like the main character Misery, she does work in STEM. She works in computers. I didn't bring it up because it wasn't a big part of the book, but every time she goes on a fact about like computers or tech, I'm just like, oh right, this is an Allie Hazelwood book. It's like little moments like that that are just so her style of writing, but it meshes well with this. And I feel like if she wanted to, she could keep on pumping out books like this. Like, I don't know, Allie, girl, hey, if you're watching this, you're probably not, but if you are, you kind of ate here. You kind of ate with this. Give me more. But yeah, I'm really having such a good time with this book. And I don't know if it's just because it's been a while since I've read something like so, not happy-go-lucky, but like so easy to read. Like, the world building in this is not that complex. The characters, though they do have some depth to them, are very easy to read. Misery is an easy character to follow. Like, her voice, the way that she talks, very easy. And, you know, sometimes we just need those kind of books that is just like so easy to turn your brain off and read while also having a good time. And I think that's genuinely how I feel with Bride. But now I have to go to work. And I'll see you guys later when I'm back home. Hi. Okay, we have reached the final book. the end of the final book. I have finished Bride by Ali Hazelwood. It's in my bag. I don't feel like getting it out, but I finished it. I'm here to talk about it. Hi. Pleasantly surprised by that book. I said this 10 times, but I really did not go into it with any kind of feeling or emotion or expectations. I wanted to go into it with like a clear slate. Because again, I've heard a lot of stuff about Ali Hazelwood's book, so I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna give this a chance. And I was not disappointed. I had a really, really good time reading that book, and the way that it ended. There were some things that I thought were predictable. Like I could see the twists twisting. I kind of predicted like 3 things that would happen. And I didn't say them on camera because again, trying not to spoil anything that I read in this vlog. But besides that, besides like the predictability aspect of it, I think that's also something I appreciated about it. Like, yes, it's cheesy and a little bit corny and predictable, but I think that's kind of the appeal of it, especially when it comes to like contemporary romances that Ali Hazelwood writes. Like the stakes are usually like little to none, but with this one, it had like a few stakes, a little bit of a story, a little bit of angst, a little bit of drama, and I just had a really fun time with it. And I didn't expect anything else. So I really liked it. I think I rated it a 4-star. I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I'm guessing. Let me pull out storygraph. Yep, rated it a 4-star. So, and I probably will be reading other paranormal romances that she puts out from here on out, because I'm pretty sure Bride is the first in a series. From the way that that first book ended, I can tell that this is going to be like a contemporary romance route where every book in that series is for a different couple. You've got me. I'm in. I'll keep a lookout for that. I'm actually really excited for whatever that entails. I'm pretty sure it's not coming out until next year because Bride came out this year. But we'll just have to see. And with that, this vlog is officially over. I have read 6 vampire books in the span of a month. I just wanted to be noted that this is the most I've read in the past like 5 months. I've been in the worst reading slump of all time, specifically during like the summer. And I think doing this vlog kind of helped me get out of it. Like I'm reading another book right now and it's not vampire related, and I'm having a good time. Like maybe I just needed this as like a Kickstarter to read books that I know that I'd be interested in or into, because now I'm in the mood to read again, which is so great because I miss posting on here and showing you guys my thoughts when it comes to all the books that I consume. But I haven't been consuming books, so but I think I'm back. I hope I'm back. Yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. For the most part, I loved every book that I read in this vlog. I didn't think that's how it was going to go, but I don't think I gave any of these books below like 3 stars. If there's any book in this vlog that you guys have thoughts or opinions on, let me know in the comments down below. I would like to talk to you about all the books I've read because I have thoughts on every single one of them. Tell me what you're reading, recommend me books, let me know what you guys want to see in future videos, and I will be happy to do that. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye everyone.